Welcome back to the PokerPlayer Show. Still to come, we speak to Cody and the Devilfish. Hendon mob star Barney Boatman gives us his advice on sit and goes, and we look ahead to the big tournament in our poker diary. There is a lot of talk of the new breed taking over poker, but there are plenty of old school players that you should never count out. We got poker new boy Cody and veteran Dave Devilfish Ulliott together to find out what they thought of the modern game and also what they thought of each other.
I know Devilfish from TV from when I was younger. When I first started getting into poker, he was one of the guys I saw on TV and stuff. He's obviously like an icon to British poker.
I know he's the informed guy at the moment, and he's winning all the tournaments. Yeah. So that's good. You know, you gotta, when you're informed, you gotta make the most of it because it's tournaments are a form game. Usually, I mean, they come up online, don't they? Usually, I mean, they usually come up online, and you know, win a satellite or whatever, win a couple of satellites, and they do good. And the next thing you know, they got some big, nice sponsorship deal, and they're off and running. You know, I mean, poker's that sort of thing. It's like the lottery, but you've got a realistic chance, you know.
And then did progress onto online. Yeah. So it started off then. I think online is a great learning ground, to be honest.
I don't think playing online, you know, will keep you going forever. You know, you've got to learn to play cash games, and same as playing tournaments are great, but you're never going to keep winning tournaments because tournaments are such a long shot. You know, I mean, you'll say yourself. I mean, he's one. I don't know, he's one, but they're a long shot, you know. And you have to do everything right, and still get so lucky to win them.
Where do you think you'd be if online didn't exist and you had to come up the same way as Dave?
Probably it's quite a lot slower process to progress. But I agree with Dave about tournaments. Like, you need a bread and butter game as well, to earn something that's steady. Yeah. As well as taking shots at tournaments.
What's your day one sort of tactics?
I kind of try not to go in with too much of a game plan, to be honest, and try and adjust to how the table's playing, and because you can't just go in with a set way of playing and hope it's going to work. You kind of need to adjust to how the rest of the table's playing. Really. Yeah. I mean, as the tournament progresses, I mean, you need to put pressure on players as much as you can as the money bubble comes and stuff, and then the final table bubble. You need to just be really aggressive as you can and just try and bulldoze your way through in tournaments.
And you've got to try and find the ones you can bully. Yeah. So you can't really sit down with a game plan because there might not be anybody you can bully at that table, you know. So then you've got to sit back and wait and mop them up when they try and bully you, you know. So I mean, you've got to adjust it accordingly. As Jake wins more tournaments and people start to realise that he's not winning them because he's finding hands all the time, he's robbing them. And for me it's difficult because they all want to call me and they all want to beat me and they all want to knock me out, you know. They all want to go home and say, well, I knocked the Devilfish out. I didn't do any good, but I knocked the Devilfish out.
Yeah, I imagine that's pretty tough actually. Probably not in the same scale at all, but I think people are trying to start to maybe play it back at me a bit more because they might have seen I've done a few things they kind of want to knock me out a bit more than they used to. I'm not so much of an unknown kid anymore.
I refuse this year to go on the TV table.
Right.
Because people will do such stupid things against me on TV. And unfortunately, it's been working out for me, you know. They can get you down, especially no limit all. And it's amazing the beats that you see on TV if you watch it enough, you know. I mean, or if you play it enough, you know. I mean, that's someone played good players because the mugs always get me. The mug got me in the last one, you know. He didn't know what he was doing. He was just grinning at the end of the table all the time. He was the loosest player on the table and probably the worst, and he was knocking us all out, you know.
Tournament poker is such a cool game. It all comes down to just basically coin flips a lot of the time. If I felt I was playing badly or I was doing something wrong, or I don't know, I just wasn't adjusting to live poker that well. Yeah. It would get me down, but I just kind of kept plugging away.
Good stuff there. Last month, we ran a competition where you could win a one-of-a-kind Phil Lack canvas. The Unabomber holds the record for continually playing poker with no sleep, but we asked you, how long was that for? Congratulations to Kenneth Billups, who correctly answered 115 hours. This month, we have another great competition. If you want to win a signed copy of Devilfish's autobiography, The Life and Times of a Poker Legend, simply answer this question. How many WSOP bracelets has the Devilfish won? If you know the answer, then simply email us at pokerplayer@pokerchanneleurope.com. We'll announce the winner on next month's show. OK, Barney, so let's have a little chat about what you've been up to. Obviously, coming up for you is the Poker Million.
Yeah, well, that's very exciting. Coming up very soon, and it's an incredible lineup.
And talk to me about how did you get to the final table?
Well, mainly by winning my heat, obviously. I mean, Full Tilt have done a great thing for this event by changing the structure. I think it's a great thing. 300,000 chips instead of 100,000, 8 players instead of 6. Hell of a lot more poker. You know, it took about 9 hours to play through that. Finished up heads up with Ram Vaswani, who's been my ultimate doctor over the years, so beating him was a little bit special as well.
Anyone that you're slightly going to be aware of at the final table?
Well, hopefully I'll be aware of all of them, but I'll tell you who my tip is, if it's not me, and that's Tony the Lizard Bloom, who I think he's got a legitimate claim to be the best no-limit hold'em player in the world. Certainly his results for the amount he plays are absolutely phenomenal, and he's a master of this format as well.
Well, we're wishing you good luck. It's coming up very soon.